We're having a fascinating chat, guys.
Random numbers.
We are fascinated by the numbers. Now, weirdly, I've not got a number because I'm logged in as PTUK. We don't know what it is. It's not something we've
bizarre.
done. It's I don't know. It's as was it Dirk or Bill or someone said, it's like
Ashes 8182.
Too old for this. Too old for this.
I'd like 146, but I don't. You can choose your own number, can you?
I'll tell you what. No one better Nick 1011 because I'll be very upset.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you and your obsession continues.
I mean, poor Jenny. She's got a rather interesting.
She has
set of numbers.
Yeah, and I can't think of. Mine is from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh, she got 42.
42.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's numbers on the ends. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, rather than Dirk S, it's Dirk S 1982, and
Yeah. It's just bizarre.
oh,
Just absolutely bizarre. And where the Crown's gone?
I know they were there earlier.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, Tanya had one at number
They're
3.
earlier in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, they were there earlier. Number 1 was Mr. Neville Bounds. 5762, obviously.
Well, that's weird. At Beluga ST
Yes.
doesn't have a number.
Oh.
How bizarre.
Okay. Perhaps you'll get a signed one in a minute.
How weird.
Yeah.
It's just all...
Yeah.
I'm going to have to Google
I mean,
that.
I feel that Tanya's is absolutely perfect for her, being I know she's a big fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, so she can ride her number with pride.
Are you ready with the clock, Mr. Smith?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry.
Oh, Tracy is Tracy_Donny's in. I don't have a number. You don't. Another one with no number.
I haven't got a clock, Nev. Sorry, I've got the thing. Is it go time? Is it? Yes. Oh no.
Yeah.
5 seconds. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, Darren's in London.
There we go. We're underway.
Oh, hello, Darren. Darren's in London. He's not in Oslo.
Oh, exciting! My commiserations to you.
Hope Darren's power bank didn't go off on an SAS plane in Oslo this week.
15 seconds, everyone. Good luck.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Well, hello and welcome, a warm welcome to episode 579 of the Plain Talking UK podcast. I am Carlos, and in this week's show, a Boeing 737 flies at 37,000 feet with a door handle sticking out. 8 passengers on an SAS flight were taken to hospital after a fire in the cabin. Not a lithium-ion battery involved, surely. And we take a look at the UK's latest government proposals to finally build a 3rd runway at Heathrow, although you don't want to be in a rush, I don't think. In the military, this week we have got Boeing securing an $877 million order for MH-47G helicopters from the US Special Operations Command, and the New Zealand Air Force signs a contract for 2 A321XLR strategic transport aircraft, painted in grey, no doubt. We'll have the results of the competition, as well as the latest news of our 600th show prep for May of next year. And of course, no show would be complete without a Retro Airline Ad of the Week video to play for you. And this week we travel back to the 1980s with Nev's very own BA. So joining me this week, is, of course, the man who pushes the buttons in the right order and twiddles the knobs with his fingers. It's Matt Smith.
Hello. You're right.
No, I'll try and do a different one each week. It's, try and think of something different to say each week.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Yeah. Love that for you.
Nice and warm in the studio there, man?
It is actually. This time of year, I don't mind the fact that all the equipment chucks out lots of heat. It's lovely and tusty in here, nice and tusty. We like it.
Nice.
Yeah, we do.
Nice.
We definitely do.
It's been a rum week with frosts and rain, and then frosts and then rain, and yes, it's been a challenging week with weather.
Yeah. We love the UK.
Yeah, I made the mistake at the weekend of lighting the wood burner, sticking on the television to watch a little series that I watch on YouTube, and then promptly fell asleep.
Like I say, about 4 minutes you were awake, were you? Something like that?
Yeah, I know. Honestly, we do love having the wood burner in the new house here, but it's a bit of a nightmare when you fall asleep 5 minutes after lighting it, honestly.
All that hard work.
I know. But yes, welcome back again this week, Mr. Smith. Good to see you as always. And joining us across what was a frosty UK countryside, it is, of course, our connoisseur of all things Seat 1A and BA. It's Neville Bones.
Yes, hello, folks. Back again for some more. Yeah, there's still some frost out there that hasn't cleared from this morning, actually. It was very cold last night, sort of -5 at RAF Benson, which is one of the RAF bases in Oxfordshire, not that far from here. And it wasn't too different here either, actually. So, no, quite a busy week thus far. Took the train to Oxford on Monday. And that's always a busy city anyway. But boy, I mean, you can tell Christmas has arrived. People are just out there spending money on a Monday. Extremely busy, I have to say. But had a nice pizza for lunch, which was good. No, a nice week so far. Swimming yesterday, so we're a bit worn out today. And then we've got Keep Fit tomorrow.
I got to ask the question, Nev. Favourite pizza topping of all time? Go.
Oh well, I tend to go for the sloppy Giuseppe. So I'm sort of the ground beef, spicy beef.
Nice.
What else? Oh, green pepper, isn't it? Onions, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So as long as it's not pineapple, I'm good with that.
Well, we do have a ham and pineapple one in the freezer from Aldi, actually, and it does taste quite nice. And we might have that tomorrow. Depending how we get on at Keep Fit, of course.
Oh, right. Okay. It's your reward.
I was just going to say our very own Uncle Mike is back in the chat room this week. Good to see you in there, Mike. He says sweet Italian sausage and anchovy.
Oh, yeah, now you're talking. Yeah. You can't get that around here anymore, which is
I have tried them. Gemma loves anchovy.
I do, yeah.
But
Fresh anchovies are amazing. I don't mind the tinned ones. They're a bit salty, but then you don't need salt, if you see what I mean. So it's a win-win for me. Yeah,
and I'm a big fan of thin crust pizzas. I do love an thin crust pizza, which our local pizza place here does a good one actually up the road. So
we have a local pizza place.
Yeah, we've got one. We've got two actually. The one in the village you have to take a mortgage out to buy a pizza from.
Right.
We've got that van that sits in the lay-by between.
Oh, yeah. That's supposed to be really good.
Good pizza, to be fair.
Supposed to be really good. Yeah.
Which is really good, but lots of new faces in the chat room tonight, which is good to see. Loving this. I'm just looking at UV Pilot 3233 says 6 inches of snow here yesterday. My word, where is that? 6 inches of snow. I will probably get 6 millionths of a millimetre this year, and then the whole of the East Anglia will come to a grinding halt, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely, quite right.
Yeah. We've got no Andy this week. Andy is, I think he was training.
He is, yes. More time in that simulator, followed by evening entertainment, I believe.
Yes.
Another one.
Honestly. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be the one paying his expenses, Bill. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he'll lemonade and lime for him.
That'll be it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe a bag of crisps.
Yeah. Nick's away tonight as well. He's I don't know what Nick's. He's probably busy.
That's all right. He doesn't have to give us an excuse. He's allowed to be off. It's fine.
No, he's having a bit of time off anyways. But Nick will hopefully be back next week. But we've got lots to get through in the show tonight. As we said, it's obviously our 600th coming up in May next year. More details on that coming up very soon. And as I said on the intro there, we've got a double bubble Retro Airline Ad of the week this week from BA, and I'm looking forward to hearing Nev's comments on the interiors and the ads himself, Nev, as it's BA week this week.
Yeah,
can be good. Right, lots of news to get through. So if all the team are ready, and Matt, if you're ready to hit the button, let's do some commercial news.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
And this week's first story comes from paddleyourown.canoe.com. I still think that's an incredible website name. Honestly, whoever thought that up? The headline, Boeing 737 flies at 37,000 feet with the door handle sticking out. Not something you wish to see looking out your window, Matt, I'm guessing, when you're sitting in your seat there.
Nah, you're right, thanks.
No. United Airlines aircraft, which is usually operated by a 737-900, had departed Seattle-Tacoma International Airport at around 4 p.m., climbed to a cruising altitude of 37,000 feet as it flew across Washington State, Idaho, Wyoming, and Colorado for the more than 2-hour flight. During one recent flight, a flight attendant posted on Facebook group that they heard a pop come from outside the aircraft as the plane was still in its initial ascent at around 10,000 feet. But rather than declaring an emergency and getting the plane on the ground as quickly as possible, the pilots decided to continue on to Denver. This might sound like a pretty scary situation, but insiders explain that while not an everyday occurrence, the main door handle on a Boeing 737 can occasionally pop out in flight, and it isn't actually a major safety issue. Okay. Thankfully, the door isn't a risk of opening because in order for the door to swing open, someone would have to forcefully pull the handle out even further before rotating it. In effect, the door remains locked and airtight, but the handle just isn't stowed in the aerodynamic recess where it's meant to sit. Given that, the Boeing hasn't changed the cabin door design of its best-selling model since its inception back in the 1960s. It's probably no surprise to learn that the aircraft utilises a fully manual opening mechanism. The door is known as a plug-style door, as we all know, which swings outwards when open compared to the new aircraft with updated door designs. The 737 is known amongst aircrew as being somewhat tricky to open, especially if you don't have a lot of upper body strength. Me and Nev know that with the A320 door. At cruising altitude, the plug system, which relies on the differing pressure between the outside and the cabin, ensures that the door cannot be opened in flight, as we all know, even if someone attempts to lift the door handle from the inside. I mean, it's not something you wish to see every day of the week when you're looking out the window. I mean, not that you'd probably be able to see it from out the window, but it must have been noisy, wouldn't you have thought, Nev, with the air rushing over that handle.
Possibly, yes. I mean, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, we know what it's like when the spoilers are out, how much noise they make. Or how much rumble is set up through the aircraft. But no, I mean, not exactly a showstopper, I don't think. But as you mentioned, you and I had the chance firsthand to try the L1 door on an A320 for real down at the simulator at Gatwick a few months ago. And it is surprising how much strength you need in your upper body to be able to open and close the thing. I mean, it was quite hard work, wasn't it? If you're not used to it and you weren't expecting that amount of effort required to open and close it.
Yeah, it's definitely a mission to open that door. when you see the videos online, the crew they make it look so easy, don't they, Nev?
And then Andy says, I said to Andy, what's sort of the outside wind limit for opening the door? He says, oh yeah, 65 knots. I'm going, wow. I don't think I'd like to try that at 65 knots outside wind. But yeah, I mean, it's got to do a good job, hasn't it? So it's got to be substantial. But I was really surprised how much effort is needed to open and close a thing when it's on the ground.
Perhaps I'll try opening this one here.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Is it set to automatic or manual though? That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We don't want an instant, do we?
No, definitely not an instant. But all was well. Obviously, the aircraft got to its destination. But yeah, something I've not seen it. We've not seen a story. I've not seen a story like this before since we've been doing the show. So this is news to me that this is a relatively regular-ish occurrence.
Even a thing, yes.
Yeah, even a thing.
Strange, isn't it?
Nev, next story is for you. An airport that we've frequented before.
Yeah, we have. And it's on the bbc.co.uk news section. And it says that the first images showing the internal design of a new departure lounge at Jersey Airport have been released. The Ports of Jersey, POJ, shared the pictures ahead of the first phase of redevelopment opening in summer 2026. The whole departure lounge is expected to be open by summer 2027, POJ said. Lee Madden, who's the president of Jersey Chamber of Commerce, said stakeholders wanted to create an airport that's generational and that's going to be used for the future. Well, obviously, it's going to be used for the future, isn't it? Matt Thomas, POJ chief executive, said the airport's 30 years old now, so it's quite tired and there's lots of critical infrastructure that needs to be invested in, like the heating, the aircon and the power. I think the airport's a lot older than 30 years old, but maybe the buildings themselves haven't been refurbished in 30 years. He says, but more importantly than that, we want the airport to be that amazing and first and last impression of the island. We've invested more than £150 million over the last 10 years. A lot of it is resurfacing the runway in the new security equipment. So this isn't instead of, this is as well as investment. POJ said the new design will be fresh, modern and inspired by the island's coastline, countryside and architecture. It said that the design process has been guided by public feedback, community meetings and passenger insights gathered over the past year. Features of the new departure lounge will include a family area, an assisted travel lounge, sensory room, first aid room, multi-faith room, work areas and access to genuine Jersey shopping, food and beverage outlets also. I agree, it could do with a bit of a refresh, couldn't it? It does look a little bit 1970s when you walk through some of the airport, but it's carrying a lot more passengers through there than it has previously, so it's not a bad idea for a refresh, I would say.
I think the lounge could do with being made a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it's very restrictive in there, isn't it, as well, and I can't remember, I think I'm right in saying that they've actually shut that lounge. I seem to remember from previously. I can't remember whether there's new work going to be done there, but it's not that big anyway, that's for sure. So, yeah, but no, good. There's some money being spent in the main terminal area.
Darren in the chat room is saying that the terminal will be full of sand and sheep.
That is very possible, yes.
It's a lovely place, though, Jersey, and yeah, we had a good time there for the Jersey Air Show. It was a very good weekend indeed, wasn't it, Nev?
Yeah, good part of the world. If you've not been to the Channel Islands before, Jersey and Guernsey are very nice places to be. If you get the weather right, it's absolutely fantastic as well.
Now, Matt, I don't think we've had a story about fights and kicking off on board aircraft for a few weeks, but France are making rather a big stand here, aren't they, Matt?
Yes, and probably quite rightly so, to be fair. It's thegoldwings.com thesegoldwings.com is the source on this one, and the headline is France introduces tough new penalties for unruly passenger. So France has just introduced new penalties for unruly passengers by way of decree number 2025-1063. The decree, which was implemented on the 8th of November, gives the DGAC, that's essentially France's Civil Aviation Authority, sweeping authority to punish unruly behaviour using civil penalties that can be issued quickly and without involving prosecutors. Several specific behaviours can trigger large fines, including refusing to comply with lawful safety instructions from cabin crew, obstructing or interfering with a crew member's ability to perform safety duties, using electronic devices when prohibited or after being instructed to turn them off, any conduct that jeopardises flight safety or crew performance. For these actions, the DGAC can impose fines of up to €10,000 for a first offence, up to €20,000 for repeat offenders or more serious incidents. These penalties are administrative, meaning that they can be issued in addition to and separate from any criminal charges brought by the police or courts. France's DGAC are also now empowered to impose flight bans of up to 4 years in exceptional cases. Any operator which French registered aircraft will now be able to file reports of harmful behaviour directly to the regulator without needing police involvement. The DGAC will then determine whether the behaviour fits within the violation, whether to issue a fine and whether to issue a flight ban. While airlines will not be able to see other airlines' reports, the government-run centralised database will mean that no fly bans will be effective across any French carrier. Importantly, the administrative penalties will only apply to incidences that occur on French-registered aircraft. However, French police and courts still have prosecutive powers against anyone who commits a crime on aircraft landing in or flying through French territory. Yes, I think perhaps this is going to be an unpopular decision. I think we should imply something very similar here.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. The comment I just put in the chat room, I don't know what you guys think, but these fines are good. You know, obviously people in the UK are fined by airlines and etc. for things like this happening on board, but I wonder how many of these fines actually get paid. If you're stuck with a £10,000 fine for some stupid thing you've done on an aircraft, I wonder how many people actually pay the whole of that fine, be it £10,000, £5,000 or £3,000. Who chases that up?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that'll be quite strongly sort of chased, if you see what I mean. If nothing else, it's money that the airline or the regulator. I guess who does it go to? The fine, does it go to the airport, or does it go to the airline, or does it go to the regulator? I mean, who gets the fine?
I would have said the bit of both, wouldn't you, Nev? The airline and the airport.
Well, I mean, presumably, if there's a diversion involved, for example, then the airline is going to have to pick up that tab from the airport that they land in, and all the crew problems that will go with that as well. I mean, maybe it's not completely enforceable, but it has to be some sort of deterrent. We're seeing, I think we've not seen as many this year as last year, or of incidents that are reported or are big enough to be reported, at least. But it's certainly, you have to have a deterrent in there somewhere. Now, how they actually collect that money is a completely different story, I think. But that you've got to have a starting point for what is effectively endangering an aircraft.
Yeah.
Well, and they're quite big fines as well, aren't they? I mean, €10,000 should be a pretty healthy deterrent for most people, isn't it? Because I certainly don't have that kind of money lying around. I mean, I'd like to think I wouldn't be stupid enough to do something like that as well. But yeah, I mean, if I was suddenly levied with a £10,000 fine, it would be crippling. So should work as a deterrent.
Or do what they give people in the UK here when they're not in community service. So they're made to work for no payment within the local community. Just an idea. Yeah, that's my thoughts anyway. Yeah, good discussion there. Darren in chat room, or Beluga ST.
That's working, by the way, if you want to pop them up on the screen.
Yeah, Darren is saying in the chat room, if you're caught speeding in Finland, you get fined a percentage of your salary.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
I like that, yeah, because then depending on your income, essentially it's the same pain for everyone then, isn't it?
Blimey. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Dirk Guest is saying in the chat room, make them drain the wastewater tank with a bucket.
Yeah,
imagine that after a 7 or 8 hour flight. Oh, well, that would be a good job.
Yeah, love that for you.
Anyway, moving on. Next story. Newsweek.com this is. And an airport I think we've all been through. Passengers at Dubai International Airport who are travelling with just hand luggage may soon be able to skip the check-in process for a completely frictionless airport experience. Interesting use of words. The move was announced this week by Paul Griffiths, the CEO of Dubai Airports, the authority that owns and operates airports in the city, including DXB. The airport has been ranked as the world's busiest airport for international passenger traffic since 2014. He said, we're trying to create a completely frictionless experience. We're on that journey with the DXB now, and the idea is over the next few years we'll be rolling out more and more processes, not to add things, but to take things away, Griffiths said in his keynote address at the Dubai Air Show last week. He added that we're working to eliminate check-in if you're travelling with hand luggage. Carlini Times of the United Arab Emirates reported on Thursday last week, noting that Dubai Airports has already replaced the immigration process with cameras that do facial recognition on every passenger. The CEO said, we're working with security to make it no less secure, but make it much easier so that it's very quick and efficient to get people through, so you don't have to lift your bag and dismember your entire possessions in front of someone. Griffiths said that the changes are about respecting passengers' time and creating a much quicker flow so you can get through the airport more quickly. He added, the best of all thing is that we can get 4 times the number of people through the same time space in 1/4 of the time. We've got 4 times the capacity without building anything, he said. DXB has broken its own record in passenger traffic, having welcomed 93.8 million travellers at its terminals so far this year. Officials announced Wednesday, up from the 92.3 million back in 2024. Now, having flown through Dubai Airport a number of times, both me and Gemma, I can say it is an incredibly busy airport with a lot of walking involved to get from various parts and areas from one place to another. But I have to say, I think if we're travelling to Dubai, I think we're going to be travelling with something more than a hand luggage case. But yeah, it's a good idea, I think.
Mind you, as busy as it was when we went through there back in 2019, it was quite efficient, wasn't it? I thought. And in 45 years of flying, it's the only airport where I've been asked to remove something from my luggage because they couldn't identify what it was. Do you remember what it was, Carlos?
I don't know, Nev.
It was my muff that I use for my microphone.
Oh.
They didn't know what it was, and I had to explain it to them. And by me explaining it to them, kind of made it worse, I think, as well. So I was there for an extended period of time whilst you were out. You know, you'd gone, and I had to catch up, if you recall.
I've never worried so much in my entire life. I think standing outside, waiting for you to reappear from behind the.
You were worried that perhaps you weren't worried, but I was worried that I might be escorted into the special room. You know.
Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll leave this at home if I ever travel there again. Yeah. But that's not Neb's muff, a story of misunderstandings. Sturk says,
Yeah, that could be the chapter 6 in the book, couldn't it? Yeah.
"Oh dear, I'd like to see that the memoirs, Nev, of your travels." Actually, that's not a bad idea, Nev. All the traveling that you've done in your previous kind of job, I reckon you could easily write a travel book.
Yeah, well, yes and no, but actually, there's been a surprisingly few number of incidents that have happened over all that time. I mean, there's been a lot of irritation from me to other passengers and sometimes gate staff as well. But that's just me getting old. That doesn't really count, I don't think. But maybe I should document it one day and put it all down for people to tut at and think, well, the old boys obviously lost it. So,
We've got a title, Nev, for your book from Darren Beluga ST in the chat room.
Oh yes, yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah. Not sure we can actually announce that on the air.
Oh, that good, eh? Oh my.
Oh dear. Mark Priestley says just joined and the muff was mentioned. Nev, your secret is safe with us.
Yeah, you joined at an unfortunate time there, Mark.
Yes, yeah, that is quite sucky timing. I'm not going to lie. Yes, absolutely.
You've got no perspective on or context or what happened there before.
And I do definitely feel context is key in this scenario.
I mean, if you're watching on YouTube, I mean this one here is a relatively small muff. Nev's muff is huge.
Oh, it's a whopper, isn't it?
Oh, I say.
Yeah.
It's got very warm in this studio. I'm just saying. Can we move on, please?
Right, moving on. So from one thing to another. Nev, it's all about batteries again, isn't it?
Oh, here we go again. Yeah. Luckily, this didn't result in a huge moment, but it could have done. It's on aviation A-to-Z.com, and it says that 8 people on an SAS airline were hospitalised after a fire in the cabin. Well, an incident at Oslo Airport has prompted renewed concern over lithium battery safety in aircraft cabins after a portable battery pack burst into flames during boarding. The fire occurred on board a nearly new Airbus A320 operated by Scandinavian carrier SAS just minutes before a short domestic flight to Bergen was scheduled to depart. Around 50 passengers were already on the aircraft when smoke began leaking from a bag inside the cabin. The situation escalated quickly as thick fumes filled the aisle, forcing the crew to act immediately and evacuate travellers from the aircraft before the smoke intensified. Cabin crew equipped themselves with smoke hoods to avoid inhaling the toxic fumes spreading through the cabin. They used a halon fire extinguisher to control the burning bag and moved it from the aircraft to the tarmac, where emergency responders were already in position. Once outside, the battery pack reignited before firefighters managed to fully contain the fire. Accident investigators later confirmed that 8 people were taken to hospital for suspected smoke inhalation. Several were kept under observation, but all were discharged within 48 hours. And the investigation notes that the fire involved a portable battery pack carried in a passenger's hand luggage. Lithium battery fires often result from thermal runaway, a chain reaction in which one overheating cell causes the next to heat up rapidly, as we've said so many times on this podcast. This process creates intense flames and thick toxic smoke that spreads quickly in enclosed areas. Devices such as power banks, laptops and e-cigarettes all contain lithium cells that can fail without warning. Well, thank goodness the aircraft was at the gate, firstly. And it sounds like the cabin crew did a fantastic job of getting that under control. I have to say, though, I have been in a production theatre space where the halon fire extinguisher has gone off, and my goodness me, you have to get out extremely quickly because it literally sucks all the air out of the space that you're in. So I wasn't even sure that you were still allowed to use halon fire extinguishers, but I'm not a fire retardant expert. But nonetheless, they are extremely effective, but you do run the risk of having a problem with the passengers as well.
Well, my understanding is it literally essentially kills off the air in the breathable air in the room, doesn't it? That's its job. It's literally suffocates the flames.
Yeah. No, exactly. No, it's a problem, isn't it? I mean, it's a massive problem. Lithium-ion batteries and thermal runaway. It just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? I think the problem is that the difference in quality of the products you can buy varies massively throughout the world, and some products are completely okay, but some are not manufactured to such good standards, and that's where the problem comes, isn't it? And the fact that they can reignite again, as Neil Cluffley mentioned on our 400th show, if you recall, these things can relight 3 or 4 weeks later, not just immediately. So it's a big thing, and we keep saying we're going to come back and talk about it, and we do every couple of months that something else happens.
We do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think more and more airlines are going to go down the route that I think is it Emirates. I think, haven't they? They've gone down the route where they're not allowed in. I want to say they're not allowed on board now. I think. There was an article a while back, wasn't there, where we mentioned it actually. Yes, yeah. I seem to recall.
And of course, some of these power banks. I mean, like your one, Carlos. It is very high capacity, isn't it, as well? I mean, it's,
This is a. I'm not going to lie. This is a cheap and cheerful one, which I got from a certain
we know where you got
popular
that from.
site.
Does it begin with a T?
It may begin with a T. It's
4 letters ending in U. Yeah,
it
that's
does.
the one,
but this is a wireless one, so you can charge your phone wireless.
Well, that's all right then. That can't be anything possibly dangerous about that then.
It works. I'm not going to lie. It works very well. Would I take this on an air? No, because it does get slightly warm. But I do actually own a proper, very, very good quality Anchor power bank, which is one of the more popular brands of power banks which you buy. That one I've got is one. I think it's got 2 or 3 USB ports. It is a very, very, very good battery pack, and it doesn't run hot.
Yeah, I have a high capacity version made by the same company that's powerful enough actually to keep my MacBook alive for about 2 or 3 hours as well, Nev, to be fair. That doesn't get hot even when it's plugged, when the MacBook's plugged in, and it's basically pulling 60 watts or whatever it is, so it's pulling quite a bit. Doesn't get warm at all. And you think, and that's the difference, isn't it, between a quality product? It's got the load balancing and all that kind of thing to make sure that you're not depleting cells too quickly, which is also a trigger for thermal runaway, essentially, isn't it? So,
although here's a sales opportunity, why not supply a Halon fire extinguisher with each power bank?
A little mini one.
Yeah. It's a little special bag you can put it in, and you seal it up, and it goes woof. Yeah.
Oh dear! But I remember speaking to, in fact, our good friend Ray Davis. I think may have mentioned this in the past. With his fire service experience, and also somebody local to me here, the training that goes into the fire service to put these fires out is really extensive. And when some of this stuff is well alight, it will just not go out.
It won't stop. Yeah.
So it's a big thing, isn't it?
It is. It's quite the event when it happens.
So we've got the next story, which is from Dailies, A-B-A-H, dailiesabar.com. It's just an update. This is actually on the cargo aircraft incident that happened a few weeks back. We covered on the show. Turkish operated cargo aircraft engine accelerated before the Hong Kong crash. So the initial investigation into the fatal cargo plane skidding incident at Hong Kong's international airport last month has suggested that one of the Turkish operated aircraft's 4 engines accelerated after landing. The incident resulted in the deaths of 2 airport workers, as we know, who were sadly killed as the aircraft skidded off the runway. A preliminary report from Hong Kong's Air Accident Investigation Authority, released late last Tuesday, said the flight from Dubai, operated by ACT Airlines on behalf of Emirates, was normal until shortly after the landing. The 747 cargo plane had been dispatched with the thrust reverser on engine 4 not working, which was allowable under aviation rules, the report said. The thrust reversers redirect the engine thrust forward after landing to help slow an aircraft down, as we all know. After the aircraft being flown by the first officer touchdown on the runway, its automatic braking system disengaged and the captain took control, investigators said. Shortly afterward, engine number 4 on the far right-hand side of the aircraft accelerated to 90% N1 thrust before surging to 106% to 107% over 12 seconds. Thrust reversers were activated on the other 3 engines after the plane veered left off the runway and it struck a security vehicle, pushing it into the sea and sadly killing the 2 airport workers inside. It was the deadliest airport incident in the financial hub in more than 25 years. All 4 crew on board the aircraft survived, but the plane was destroyed, with the tail section separating on impact, the report said. Stephen Dominic Chang, chairman of the Hong Kong Professional Airline Pilots Association, said that it was highly unusual for a plane to accelerate after landing, with the right airside engine at full power and the other engine trying to slow the plane. There is no way you can maintain control, he said. Boeing referred queries on the preliminary report to the AAIA, and Emirates and ACT Airlines did not immediately respond to requests for a comment. The cause of the crash still needs to be determined by a full investigation. The AAIA has said it was collecting further data, including technical issues related to the aircraft systems, engineering issues, maintenance records, and flight crew qualifications. Hong Kong's Transport and Logistics Bureau said on its Facebook page last week that it aimed to release a final report within a year, which is in line with international standards. So, definitely one thing that you don't want to happen, Nev, on an aircraft after landing is to have an engine surge.
I've seen several YouTube videos on this by whom I would term respectfully the usual suspects, trying to work out what's happened here. But whether it was done unintentionally or whether something had gone wrong, I don't know. But can you imagine trying to control the aircraft on the ground when you've got such a high N1 thrust on the right hand side of the aircraft, as far as out as you can go, nearly, and the thing's obviously just going to turn sharp left, isn't it? But the fact that, I mean, these engines take a while to spool up as well, don't they? So I don't know why it was so instant as well. I wish we'd got John Jester on the show, actually, and he could have given us a bit of his take on it. But it's extremely odd and very, very unusual for something like this to happen. And the fact that the reverser was locked out, now, presumably that also means that the number 4 thrust reverser is unavailable when they go to select reverse on the other 3 engines. But whatever happened, I mean, it's such a big moment and such a tragedy for the 2 folks in the car that were on the perimeter road who were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there's going to be a big investigation about this as to how on earth they ended up with a situation where engine 4 was at such a high N1 setting.
Yeah, it was an awful place awful thing to happen. Like you said, Nev, wrong place and the wrong time. But it seemed the report's going to be within a year, which I think is quite quick, Nev, because we don't normally tend to wait quite a considerable time, don't we, for these reports to come through?
Yeah, I mean, normally they have a preliminary report within a month or 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. And yeah, often they say it's up to 18 months before they'll come up with a full report. But yeah, there's something very odd here. I cannot believe. I mean, I'm massively speculating, but I cannot believe that the crew selected that N1 setting on the thrust levers, or whether something happened that was out of their control. I've just no idea. But yeah, it was obviously a catastrophic event, and you can see by the damage to the aircraft, and obviously the fatalities. I mean, had that been a passenger aircraft as well, the fatalities would have been potentially even greater, I would have thought.
Mm. What do you think of Darren's comment in the chat room, Nev? Beluga ST there.
Yes, I mean, it's a reasonable point. Having cameras in the cockpits, I think there's been a lot of discussion about that over many years. And I think there is an argument when it comes to accident investigation that the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder gives you, a certain amount of data, and obviously a lot of data, but it doesn't give you the ultimate data of what controls were selected at certain points. You can see that from the flight data recorder, but you can't physically see it inside the cockpit. And I think there's been a lot of union resistance to that in some quarters, in some parts of the world as well. But it's extremely odd, isn't it? I've never heard of an accident like this before at all.
Oh, that's very sad. Right, Matt, you have got the next one. And good news, I suppose, if you live in a very nice part of the UK, such as Newquay.
Yes, indeed. A little help, please, in saying the airline name correct. I want to say Orkney, is that right?
You want to say Aurigny?
Aurigny, okay, thank you very much.
Is what you want to say?
Aurigny, okay.
Even I get that one wrong, Matt. It's an awkward one.
Yeah, it's UKAviation.news is the source, and the headline is Aurigny supports Airbus as Gatwick to Newquay service begins. So Aurigny has stepped in to support its partner airline Skybus after the Cornish carrier secured Emergency Public Service Obligation PSO contract to operate flights between Newquay and London Gatwick from Sunday the 23rd of November. The PSO route provides vital air connectivity for the remote Cornish community, and Skybus had initially planned for Blue Islands to operate the service during the short term. However, those plans were halted when Blue Sky Islands entered administration, leaving an urgent need to put alternative arrangements in place. Aurigny has confirmed it will assist Skybus in providing ground handling services at London Gatwick, operating on commercial terms. The airline noted that this support mirrors the handling it has already provided for Eastern Airways on the same route over the past 3 years using its existing Gatwick-based resources. In a statement, Aurigny stressed that none of its aircraft, pilots or engineering teams are being deployed for the Newquay Gatwick operation. The airline emphasised that maintaining a reliable service across its network, including the recently introduced routes between Guernsey and Jersey and Guernsey and Southampton, remains its top priority. Aurigny added that the air agreement with Skybus will enhance its operational resilience during the busy Christmas and New Year period. The wet lease provider that will operate the Newquay flights will retain additional capacity, which Aurigny can draw upon if it requires backup aircraft for its Guernsey network. The airline said that these measures highlight its commitment to delivering a robust, dependable service to passengers during the festive season, ensuring that our passengers' festive wishes always come true. Nice. Nice. I mean, I suppose it's a bit of good news, isn't it, really? I guess.
Well, the thing is, it's... I read somewhere that... the Channel Islands are actually sort of fogged in for 70 days per year, something like that. So that's quite a problem for operations, you can imagine. But also, of course, there's medical requirements for getting people from the Channel Islands to Southampton or to Exeter, other hospitals. from time to time. So this public service obligation, the PSO, is really important. And this is what I was going to, back to saying from last week and the week before about regional operations and how important it is to a country, even as small as the UK. To be able to get around. And it's good that Aurigny have stepped in. It's going to assist Airbus, Skybus, not Airbus, Skybus by doing this work. But it's absolutely vital. It's not sort of an optional thing. It really is a vital lifeline from the Channel Islands to the UK mainland and back again.
Do you know what? I'd never heard of Skybus. I had to do a little quick Google there because I'd never heard of it. But Skybus apparently were founded back in 1984, Nev. Got a fleet of de Havilland 6 Twin Otters and Britten Normand Islanders.
Yes.
Kind of short little hop aircraft. But yeah, I never heard of Skybus. Yeah,
I've been on an Aurigny Islander before, between Jersey and Guernsey. Very nice aircraft, I must say. Bit noisy.
Yeah.
Nev wasn't terribly impressed with it, but I was very impressed with it because it's a single pilot operation. You can see everything that's going on at the front as well, which was superb.
I bet.
But no, these services are absolutely vital. You can't not have them. It's again, I think as these problems come up, we've had so many failures now. With Eastern, with BMI regional, and a whole host of problems that have gone on with regional operations. We really need to get a more robust system, whether it's the government's money from the Channel Islands or the UK or whatever. But I mean, some of these routes are subsidised anyway, but they need to be more robust, I think, definitely.
It's a pity we don't have a route from our local airport, Matt, to Newquay. It's a lovely.
Well, we used to have one at Norwich, but and I have looked at it a few times, but it is so prohibitively expensive. That's the problem, I think. I'd much rather be using regional airports, but for most people, it is a little bit out of reach.
Yeah. Perhaps one of the airlines could try and start it again, but try and run it at a bit more of a better price point for us,
maybe
local people. That would be nice. Next story. This comes from bbc.co.uk. Airport. It's one of the airports that we talk about in the UK a little bit, but it's more of an airport if you are very wealthy and flying to. It's Farnborough Airport. They're asked for permission to increase the number of aircraft takeoff and landings over the weekends and public holidays. I'm sure that making the local people happy. In a planning application to Rushmore Borough Council, the airport owners asked to increase the number of non-weekday aircraft movements from 8,900 to 13,500 per year. The airport has said the changes would result in more flights and therefore more noises. Thank you, wife. On weekends and public holidays. But in the long term, there will be fewer flights and less noise on weekends than would otherwise occur. The airport states that the application is to continue to meet the forecast for demand for flights and support the airport's medium-term growth requirements. The council consulted on previous applications from the airport in 2023, where it sought to increase the total number of aircraft movements from 50 to 70,000 a year. Keith Dibble, Rushmore Borough Council's Cabinet Member for Housing and Planning, said that these are very important proposals, not just for Farnborough and Aldershot residents and businesses, but for the population over a large area. He said, I want to encourage everyone to look closely at the plans and give their thoughts. The council has said its Development Management Committee is expected to decide on the applications in March next year. I'd have to say, Nev, that is a heck of a lot of flights.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And I can remember when Farnborough Airport, from many, many years ago, was, a fairly quiet little place, but then people like Tag Aviation got involved, and it's such a massive bizjet facility now, isn't it? I suppose the only good part about it is that nearly all of the aircraft coming in and out of the airport are fairly modern and reasonably quiet. It's not as though you've got a 727 or a BAC 111 hammering down the runway and over the residential areas. But yeah, I can understand why the residents of that area, would have some concerns about the weekend. But the amount of utilisation at the airport is incredible, isn't it? I mean, it was, even when we were there back in 2017, was it? It was busy then, just in sort of normal operations, but obviously now it's even more so, and they want to expand it further.
Yeah, it's it'd be nice if they done the air show kind of things there again, Nev.
Yes, I actually flew from Farnborough once on, I've mentioned this before, I think, on the Lego jet to Billund in Denmark. That was probably 2006 or 2007, something like that. And even then it was quite a busy operation there. So Lego ran, I think it was 2 aircraft a day backwards and forwards from Farnborough to Billund. And that was on a Citation 560, which was very nice. And it had its own fridge with a bar in it as well, which
yes,
myself and my colleagues did sample on the way there.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
Just a tonic, Nev. You didn't have the gin.
Oh no, we had that and some beer as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, of course. But it was very convenient. I mean, parking, literally right outside the terminal and walking into the FBO. I mean, it was just brilliant. Yeah, it was. It's that and the time I flew on a Falcon 2000. I've definitely decided that's the way to fly in future. But there'll be no budget that I will ever have anymore that will allow me to do that, unfortunately.
And Nev, you've got the next story, and this one popped up on quite a few news feeds this week, actually. BA having a bit of trouble with the 380.
Well, yeah, not for the first time, obviously. This again is on paddleyourown.com. It says that British Airways has come up with a novel solution to a frustrating flight delay that could have seen as many as 469 passengers stranded in Johannesburg after the pilots and cabin crew ran out of hours to legally work. Well, the incident unfolded on Friday night when British Airways flight BA54 from Johannesburg to Heathrow was preparing for departure. The overnight flight was scheduled to depart at 10 p.m. on November the 21st, but technical problems meant that the departure time kept getting pushed back. The delays dragged on for a frustrating 7 hours, with public flight tracking data showing that the Airbus A380 Super Jumbo didn't end up taking off from Johannesburg's OR Tambo International Airport until 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. At that point, however, it became clear that the pilots and cabin crew wouldn't be able to legally work for the entire flight length to London. Airline crews in the UK are governed by what's known as flight time regulations, which were adopted by British officials when the country left the European Union. The regulations stipulate that the maximum number of hours that air crew are allowed to work. If a delay occurs and the duty length will go over these set hours, then ordinarily the flight could need to be cancelled or a replacement crew found. That's okay when the delay occurs at an airline's home hub, but in Johannesburg, British Airways doesn't have spare pilots and cabin crew it can call upon at a moment's notice. Well, the only other option is to extend the maximum working hours by providing an adequate amount of rest in dedicated crew sleeping bunks. Even then, however, the regulations only account for a maximum working duty day of 18 hours. And given that the duty clock normally starts before the crew has even arrived at the airport and doesn't stop until the plane arrives at the gate, the delay to flight BA54 on Friday night was pushing the regulations to the absolute limits. So rather than cancelling the flight, however, BA managed to work out a plan with the crew, with the pilots and cabin crew. Rather than trying to fly the double-deck aircraft all the way way to London, they planned to divert the plane to Madrid, which would just be within their maximum duty limits. When the A380 was finally in the air and flying towards Europe, BA then scrambled to find 2 spare single-aisle A321 jets that it could fly empty to Madrid and help rescue as many of the stranded passengers as possible. The remaining passengers could then be accommodated on BA's regularly scheduled flights from Madrid, as well as those of its sister airline Iberia, which is based in the Spanish capital. Although unusual, it's not the first time that BA has decided to divert heavily delayed flights to midway points from where the passengers could be transferred onto rescue flights. In April, a BA flight from Nassau in the Bahamas to London Heathrow was forced to divert to Gander in Canada due to a medical emergency. Once on the ground in Gander, it became apparent that the crew no longer had enough hours to fly all the way back to London, and the idea of being stranded in Gander didn't appeal to everyone. So the crew agreed to fly as far as they legally could, which in this case meant flying to Keflavik in Iceland. And then British Airways sent an Airbus A321 on a rescue mission with a new working crew to get the passengers to London. Well, it's all about creativity at the end of the day, isn't it? And operating within the, the legal system, and make sure that people can get where they need to be. But yeah, a 7-hour delay from Johannesburg back to London's quite a big moment, isn't it? That's for sure.
It is. Yeah, big number, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they will get compensation, Nev.
Yes, I think they will. Yes.
A few quid, some points or whatever.
I don't. Is it worth it though? Because I mean, that must have been a bit of a. That must have been an interesting time for the passengers, if you see what I mean. Well, there's nothing worse, is there, than being delayed that significantly, and it's the wrong end of your holiday, isn't it? It's the end of your holiday.
Yeah.
You're quite
home.
stressed. You just want to get home because your holiday's over, and all that. I dare say it was a struggle for people to remain reasonable, shall we say, because of the length of that delay.
I mean, we had that, obviously, that quite decent sized delay flying back from Malta in June, but put the claim in, as you know, and BA refunded us the price of both our flights plus a bit extra, which was good.
And you got a flight deck visit as well, didn't you? And a flight crew picture. I mean, you can't complain too much, can you?
Yeah, I probably would have. I probably would have opted for just having a flight deck visit in flight rather than have the money compensation. To be fair, but obviously that doesn't happen these days, unfortunately.
No.
Flight deck, well, not when the aircraft is in the air, anyway. Sadly. Just going back quickly to the last story. You know that Sky bus we were just talking about earlier. They do fly from Gatwick to Newquay. If you fancy going from Gatwick to Newquay, it's a bit of a stretch for us, I suppose, Matt, to drive all the way to Gatwick.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, you're halfway there. You might as well keep driving.
But they do a return flight to Newquay, funnily enough, for 169 quid.
That's actually not too bad. That's actually not bad.
That's with carry-on and hold luggage as well.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Very good.
Yeah.
There we go. Matt, you have got the next story, and I know you like a tech story, but I think the days of seeing something like this on a flight is not going to be anytime soon. Right,
okay. What on earth is he on about? The source it's from is the bulkheadseat.com, and the headline is Robot Flight Attendant Makes Its Debut on Domestic Flight Within Russia. Is it Pobeda Airlines, Russia's largest low-cost carrier and a subsidiary of Aeroflot, operated a flight that drew widespread attention across the aviation world. On the 12th of November, the airline introduced Volodya, a humanoid robot flight attendant helper, during a domestic flight from Moscow. Wow. Oh dear. Volodya Sorry, I can't stop laughing. Vladimir interacted with travellers throughout the flight, greeted passengers at the gate, welcomed them on board, and assisted with a manual-style safety demonstration. The robot's movements are driven by advanced reinforcement learning technologies designed to mimic the actions of human flight attendants, as seen in a video shared above. Have we got the video, by the way, or is that just pictures that we've got of that?
Just a still.
Just a still. Okay, yes, right. The robot's presence appeared to be more theatrical than functional. Volodya is not capable of autonomously conducting aviation safety demonstrations or performing essential in-flight duties such as serving food and beverages. Observers noted that the robot strongly resembles the G1 model produced by Unitary Robotics in China. The robot's debut raised questions about the future of automation in the cabin. Some see it as a precursor to potential workforce changes, even though the current model cannot meaningfully replace human flight attendants. Others noted that tasks like safety briefings could easily be handled by onboard screens. For many passengers, being greeted by a robot may represent a decline in human interaction during travel. This seems to have been a one-off publicity stunt rather than a substantive operational change. Passengers and aviation enthusiasts naturally find the concept intriguing, and the airline likely anticipated the viral reaction. While AI and robotics continue advancing at a rapid pace, the practical application of humanoid robots in commercial aviation remains limited. Whether such technology becomes a genuine part of the passenger experience or remains an occasional novelty will depend on future developments and the pace at which robots can meet the safety, service and regulatory demands of commercial flight. Not sure. Bit of a gimmick, basically, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
It is a gimmick, but hats off to them for having a go at it. I don't think this is ever going to be replacing humans on an aircraft. If you while I'm just having a chat here, Matt, if you just go into the folder, I have just quickly got a very short video of this particular robot. It's in the live playout folder. I have put it in there. But can you imagine, Nev, the implications of safety and stuff where in the event of an incident, when you've got to get the doors open fast, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, all the passengers, and there's a robot standing there.
Well, yes, I agree with that, but there might be some side benefit. We were talking earlier about some of the difficulties with some passengers that fail to follow instructions or are abusive towards the cabin crew. I think there's some possibilities here of the robot turning violent towards any passenger that doesn't actually comply with instructions. And I think that might solve many of the problems. It might cause a few others, but, it's a thought, isn't it? And we've now got some pictures, I think, of the whole thing, which it looks ridiculous, I have to say. So, if you're listening to it as an audio podcast, you really should go over to the YouTube channel to see this, because it's it's ridiculous.
I mean, the face is certainly interesting.
Face.
Well, the I don't know what you call that, really. The head.
It's a space, isn't it? Isn't it empty? Isn't it a void?
Richard Adams comes up with a good point here as well. He says, imagine the robot trying to rig out its own lithium-ion battery when it had a runaway.
A genuine concern.
Yes.
A genuine concern.
Oh,
absolutely.
Dear.
No, it's funny. It's interesting to see, and I mean, obviously, robots have been building cars and robots have been used to do things like this for a lot of years. But I think in this particular case, we're a few years off having a fully robotic flight crew. Unless their name's Otto and they're inflatable.
Oh dear.
Right. Anyway, Nev, we've got the last story here for you, and I mean, this comes up every now and again. I think we've talked about this a couple of times over the course of 2025, but yeah, Heathrow.
Well, had we been going in the year 1999 or 2000, we would have been talking about this then as well, because this is a subject which has gone on for just over 25 years now, and it's Heathrow's plan for a longer third runway. Well, for any third runway, actually. But in fact, they have the government has chosen a scheme which involves moving the M25 motorway, which is the orbital motorway that goes around London. Two plans have been under consideration, one from the airport itself and another from Aurora Group, led by hotel tycoon Surinder Arora. Heathrow had proposed a new runway which would be up to 3.5 kilometres long, 2.2 miles, and require a new road tunnel under the airport. The rival bid from Aurora Group would have involved a shorter runway at a lower cost and did not require altering the M25. However, a final decision on whether a third runway will ever get the green light is still years away. Last month, the government asked for further information to help choose between the Heathrow and Aurora schemes. The Department for Transport said Heathrow's own proposal offered the most deliverable option and the greatest likelihood of getting a decision on planning approval within this Parliament. The plan that's been backed will inform the government's review of the airport's national policy statement. Once that's complete, Heathrow is expected to apply for planning permission. The government then hopes for a decision by 2029. I will actually eat my hat if that happens, if I had one, like Andy would. However, but any company will be able to submit an application to build a new runway and terminals at the site. Heathrow had set out its plans for expansion in the summer. The whole project, which is expecting to cost £49 billion, includes the new runway, which Heathrow says will increase capacity to 756,000 flights and 150 million passengers per year. It currently serves about 84 million. A new terminal called T5X, expanding Terminal 2 and 3 new satellite terminals, and it would actually shut Terminal 3 completely. Enhancement of local rail connections and improvements to Heathrow's bus and coach stations, and a diversion of the M25, which would involve a new road tunnel under the airport and widening the motorway between junctions 14 and 15. The Aurora Group said it accepted the government's choice, adding it would welcome the decision to leave the option open for other firms to bid for the work. It's imperative that there's a clear and transparent process for selecting a promoter to ensure it best serves the interest of consumers, the group said. Transport Secretary Heidi Alexander said Heathrow was the only UK's hub airport that supported trade, tourism and jobs. Not quite sure about that statement, but that's what she says anyway. Today is another important step to enable a third runway and build on these benefits, setting the direction for the remainder of our work to get the policy framework in place for airport expansion, she said. This will allow a decision on a third runway plan this Parliament, which meets our key tests, including on the environment and economic growth. The government has already approved a string of other airport expansion plans, including a second runway at Gatwick Airport. However, the Heathrow plans face opposition from environmental groups, politicians and local residents. Tony Bosworth, climate campaigner at Friends of the Earth, said the plan was virtually the equivalent of bolting an airport the size of Gatwick onto Heathrow. That would mean more noise and air pollution for local communities, he said. Expanding Heathrow simply isn't compatible with our legally binding climate targets, even if the government meets its hugely optimistic assumptions for emerging technologies such as sustainable aviation fuel. Well, the Mayor of London, Sir Sadiq Khan, said he thought the government's backing of a new runway was a mistake. I want a better Heathrow, he said, not a bigger one, particularly at a time where Gatwick is going to be expanded. Stansted is also going to be expanded and City Airport is going to be expanded. And so is Luton, he said. I'm unclear how you get a new runway at Heathrow and it doesn't cause environmental damage, noise pollution, air pollution, etc. being exacerbated. Oh, it's the ongoing saga, isn't it, of the third runway at Heathrow.
Well, you know, by the time this runway, if it does ever get built at Heathrow, aircraft engines and stuff will be so clean. You know, there'll be no issues with pollution or anything like that, because I mean, even now they're obviously trialing SAF, aren't they? And all these new fuels and stuff like that. You know, there'll be no issues with the environmental impact. But I don't know. I think we definitely need that extra runway, Nev, at Heathrow.
Yes, and obviously it got put on the back burner completely during COVID, so 5 years, nearly 6 years ago now, because there was just no requirement for it. But the airport is almost at capacity at the moment again, and all that will happen, I think personally, and you know, this might be a controversial view, but all that will happen is that the hub business will go to Paris, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, Schiphol, Munich, maybe, so that Heathrow won't benefit from some of these, some of the business that it would generate. So it's a big project. But I personally think they have to do it. But successive governments have not been able to get the thing through due to environmental considerations and all sorts of other issues as well. So we'll have to see how we get on with this one. But we are going to be talking about this for many months and years to come, I think. No question about it.
UK episode 1000.
Yeah,
very likely. A live show from the new runway at London Heathrow.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Anyway, that was that was the last story in the commercial news segment this week. And it's time for a awesome part of the show, which I know a lot of you love. It's a very, very popular part of the show. And I have to say, I am definitely now having to trawl fairly deep into the world of retro airline ads now to get fresh ones each week. But I managed to find two little treats here for you, Nev.
I'm glad you found these two. They're really good, actually. Well, this week it's back to the 1980s in Club World with BA, and then we dip our toes into the 90s with this double helping from British Airways. But just check out those seats in Club World.
You guys kill me. You take a delicious Oriental infusion and dump cow juice into it. You get more rain in a year than Borneo. Yet the minute it stops, they hit you with a hosepipe ban. You sunbathe in your clothes. You invent a sport that no one understands, and the whole world still whips you at it. And your most popular dish is curry. Nowadays, even your civil wars are civilized. Small country, isn't it?
Sorry?
When it comes to sex, we all know what you prefer, but you must be doing something right, because 17 million of us Johnny foreigners would rather fly your airline than any of our own. I guess you should be proud of that, but that wouldn't be very British, would it? Sorry.
We need to meet. No, it's going to be somewhere discreet. Wall Street has ears.
He's leaving for London. There's something heavy going down. You're in London. Meet him at the airport and stick to him like glue. I don't care how you do it. I want to know what he's doing and why.
Hello, Mr. Cameron.
Good morning.
Your Club World boarding pass? Enjoy your flight.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Good morning, sir.
I like your style, Jack. This'll do perfectly. Very well organized. But I have to think of my own people. The way I see it, it'll be better for all of us.
Meet him at the airport.
A drink to celebrate.
Pleasant trip?
Yes. Very.
Club World delivers the businessman ready to do business. British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
But is it still the world's favourite?
Well, probably not. But nonetheless, I did enjoy seeing the 747-400 in the first one. I do miss that aircraft, and it suits the BA livery perfectly, isn't it? Especially the Landor one. But nice to see those again. And as you say, must be quite difficult now to find some content that we've not played before.
Mm. Mm. Do you remember casting your mind back, Nev, to your travels when the interior seats were like that, with those sort of wings, slightly winged backs, and the plush kind of material rather than the leather that they tend to use now on aircraft?
Yeah, I mean, I remember on the 737-200s that they used to operate from Heathrow. So I'm going back to like 1985 now, something like that. Even some of those interiors were really nice in economy, because we weren't allowed to fly business class back in the day. But all the European flying I did was in economy, and actually they were really nice and quite reasonable legroom as well, I have to say. But as the pressure came in to cram more people into the aircraft, the seat pitch got smaller and smaller, and also reducing weight of the aircraft as well. Seat design was, I personally think, compromised from a passenger's point of view. Not as nice.
Yeah, I definitely think the seats nowadays, especially in economy, have got thinner, less padding. Obviously, they're trying to save weight anyway. But I mean, Matt will agree with me on this, but the only economy seat that I think is comfortable is Emirates at the end of the day.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, very much so.
Have a very comfortable seat. It is cloth, not leather.
Well, it's not even that for me. It was the leg room. That's the thing, is there's still plenty of leg room, which is super frustrating, as you say. Don't know quite what. There's a lot of airlines. I get that they've got to cram people in. That it's got to be cost effective and all that kind of thing. But yeah, we've sort of lost our way, I think, a bit.
Yeah, I think seat design has become beneficial for weight loss, obviously, for aircraft, making the aircraft a lot lighter and burn less fuel. But it has come at the detriment of comfort for the passenger, especially if you are in economy. But most of the flights that you fly, like Neville say, with the 320s with BA on those leather seats. I think they're Recaro seats, Nev, on those BA ones. You're only on them for 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe more if you're heading down to the Canary Islands. So
I may have mentioned this before, but one of my colleagues I used to work with, he used to work at British Aerospace at Hatfield on the 146, and he claimed he was an aviation expert. He would always refer to the manufacturer of seats in his car, not the aircraft ones, but made by the same people, as, I've got Ricardo seats in my car. No matter how many times I corrected him, he wouldn't have it. But I had the last laugh in the end.
Had the last laugh, exactly. Right, time to give away the prize from Nick this week, isn't it, Nev? We've got the set of Qatar Airways, or Qatar, you name it. These are some brand spanking new pyjamas from the White Company of London. Still in their original packaging, so it could be a potential heirloom in years to come. They're in size large. The question that Nick posed was, during the D-Day invasion in World War II, there were two types of gliders developed for use by the British and American forces for transporting troops across the English Channel to Normandy. He asked what was the name of the British glider and how many were built. So, Nev, what was the answer of this?
Well, the answer is the Airspeed Horser, and a total of 3,799 were built. Quick fun fact for you, after the war, a number of gliders were acquired by the Royal Canadian Air Force and deployed to Canadian Forces base at Gimli, a town very famous for an entirely different glider. As you may remember, the Air Canada 767 Gimli glider that ran out of fuel in flight and made a dead stick landing at the former airbase. Now, normally I would get the PTUK cap out and dive into it to pull out the correct answer. We have only one correct answer, would you believe?
Wow.
And that is Richard Adams. Richard Adams is the winner. We have somebody called Terry, who's a travelly man in the chat room, who came a very close second with 3,793. So we only have one correct answer, and that was for Richard. So we have your address, Richard, so I'll get Nick to post these off to you, and we expect you to be wearing them at the 600th show as well.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That is the rule.
Right.
Or for Christmas at least.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, maybe we'll just say Christmas, and you can send us a picture with you in them.
I should stress, you don't have to. I'm just saying. I'm just
You were
saying.
saying about the Gimli glider, Nev. You're saying about the Gimli glider.
Was that
Yes.
from the fuselage, is it?
That is a fuselage cut from the Gimli glider. Yeah, which I've had for a number of years. Tag number 3,630 of 10,000 that they cut from the fuselage of that 767. But I have a piece. It's quite good. I like that. It's one of my favourite tags, that is. Yes, the Gimli glider. Good little episode that was of air crash investigation, as Matt will know. It's my favourite series to watch, especially when I'm flying. Anyway, right, it's time for another review of a very special show that's coming up in May next year. And a few updates, Nev. Obviously, we have got a number of people attending, and also quite a few people, Nev, attending who are coming further than, well, the hour and a half that we have to travel.
Yes, very much so. So we mentioned it earlier on. It's our 600th show. It's going to be on Friday, the 22nd of May, 2026. So just under 6 months away now. The venue for it is the Imperial War Museum at Duxford in the UK, and we have got the Airside Suite, which is a lovely conference room facility overlooking the main part of the airfield, actually. It's really, really nice. And hopefully by then the weather will be nice as well, so it'll be even better. Now, because we're obviously renting this facility, there is an entry fee, and it's £60 sterling, payable to us by the 1st of April 2026 at the latest. And you can do that by the usual Patreon or PayPal account, and the details of those are on the Support Us tab on the front page of our website. Brand new website, by the way, if you haven't seen it already. Matt's been very busy putting that together for us, so thank you very much, Matt. That looks very swish and snazzy, I must say. Just to let you know what you get for your money, you do get a complimentary 1 hour admission to the museum as well, although I did find out during my recce the other day that this isn't actually policed, so maybe we'll just keep that between us. There's also going to be special guest presentations, as in previous years. We're working on a couple of plans for that at the moment, and we'll announce that probably in the new year. There's a free dedicated on-site parking area as well for our guests. So as you come into the Imperial War Museum, rather than going into the public car park, just follow the signs for the conference centre, and there's a whole load of parking there specifically for us. The money also includes tea and coffee breaks with cookies, fresh fruit, and a buffet lunch included in your entry price. Also, if you're thinking of staying, there's plenty of reasonably priced accommodation local to Duxford, and we suggest you book as early as you can if you require this. It is down to yourselves to book your own hotel, but just as an idea, we're staying at the Duxford Hotel, Cambridge South, which is in Whittlesford, in Cambridge. The postcode for that is Charlie Bravo 224 November Lima, and that's only a 3-minute drive down from the Imperial War Museum itself. Also, Whittlesford Station is right next to the hotel, and that gives you easy access to London's Liverpool Street Station if you're thinking of coming from London. In the evening, the dinner venue is the Red Lion, which is directly opposite the hotel, conveniently. They've also got rooms available too. Dinner is a pay-for-yourself affair, and you will have to pre-order your food, and we'll give you details about that a bit nearer the time. But the restaurant will need this info by the end of April at the latest. If you would like to join us on this special occasion, please send your request to attend to podcast@planetalkinguk.com. We'll send you a confirmation email after we've received your payment. And can you also let us know if you have any dietary requirements so that we can inform the catering team at Duxford? There are limited spaces available and the event is filling up quickly. We're about half full at the moment, so that's with some time to go. So we'll see how we get on in the next couple of months as well. So don't forget, if you want to come and join us, podcast@planetalkinguk.com. You have to send us an email to do that. Don't just put it in the chat room. WhatsApp is okay as well if you want, but podcast@planetalkinguk.com is the best way of contacting us.
Yes, looking forward to a awesome weekend, which it will be. And as Nev said, you will have the chance to go around the museum as well, which, to be fair, you need a whole day to do if you're going to do it really, really well. As Matt will know as well, because Matt is a member as well of Duxford. It is an incredible museum, and the room we've got, as Nev was saying, is a really, really nice room. It overlooks, Nev, if I remember rightly, it overlooks the classic airliners line up there with the VC-10 and the Bristol Britannia, is it there?
Yeah, it's just a little bit further around the corner from that, but you can see it all from there. And there's a little balcony area as well. A couple of people asked me what the timings of it all are. I haven't quite got that fully worked out yet, but the museum opens at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're thinking about having our lunch at about 12:30. So if you wanted to do the museum in the morning, you can do that, and then join us for lunch in the conference room area at 12:30. And then we're thinking about starting the live show between 2 and 2:30, something like that, running through to about 5 in the evening at the latest.
And the food looks good
the
as
plan,
well.
the plan for the day, basically.
Sorry, Nev, I said the food looks good as well, which is offered during
yes,
the day. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Very nice.
Gotta love a little buffet of sandwiches and rolls and cakes as well. And cookies. I think Nev was one of the things mentioned on our plan was baked or freshly baked cookies.
Yep. So, but there's also fresh fruit for those people like myself that are trying to look after their figure. But obviously, I failed.
And of course, tea as well.
Yes, tea, coffee, soft drinks, etc. Yeah.
No, it's going to be a great event. Don't forget, as Nev was saying, get your emails in if you want to attend the show. I know we've had quite a number of people have emailed us in, and obviously they've got themselves set in, ready to join us for the 600th show. 600 shows, guys. 600. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Right, it's time to move on to the next part of the show, which is obviously, as always, Nev's favourite part of the show. So, Nev, what part of the show is it next?
Well, if we must have it, it's the military segment.
What's up, bogeys? 13550, Angel 16, heading 340. Okay. Undersea boogie.
So this first one comes from flightglobal.com, and Boeing has secured a $877 million, Jesus, a lot of money, MH-47G helicopter order from US Special Command or Special Operations Command. Boeing's vertical lift division has secured another sizable order for the MH-47G Special Operations rotorcraft from the US military. The Pentagon, on the 20th of November, published a contract notice from the US Special Operations Command, or SOCOM, covering a $877 million fixed price order for an unspecified number of the MH-47G rotorcraft. The MH-47G is a derivative variant of the CH-47F Block 2 Chinook heavy lift helicopter with features tailored specifically for special operations flying, such as aerial refueling probes. The standard Block 2 Chinook includes a number of improvements over the original CH-47F, including an upgraded drivetrain, reinforced airframe, and enhanced fuel system that together offer an expanded mission radius and increases maximum gross weight of 24,500 kilos. While the latest MH-47G contract does not specify the quantity of aircraft covered, a similar order from SOCOM in May involved 5 rotorcraft for $240 million. That works out roughly to $48 million each. Applying a similar formula to the latest contract could cover up to 18 of the MH-47Gs for SOCOM, which furnishes aircraft for the US Army's secretive 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment. Following the May order for 5 aircraft, Boeing confirmed that the US Army, via SOCOM, had 51 MH-47Gs under contract. The latest addition could raise that figure to roughly 70. Boeing holds separate orders from the UK Royal Air Force for 16 of the MH-47Gs and a large 60 aircraft buy from Germany for the standard CH-47F Block 2. Have to say, although helicopters aren't one of my, or the most sort of favourite of my flying things, to see a Chinook flying overhead, which I have done recently here in lovely East Anglia, it's an incredible sight to see. And the show, I think it was at the Duxford, was it Duxford Air Show that we were at, where they had the Chinook display team?
Yes, it was.
But yeah, absolutely incredible seeing that helicopter in action. It is.
Also, you can hear them for, as everybody knows, a long way off as well. There's one that literally comes over the top of the house at about 800 feet. I think it comes from Marham during the day, but it literally comes straight over the house at about 5:30 in the afternoon, and you can hear it from a long way off, obviously. And it does rattle the windows a bit as well when it's coming over.
I cannot get over the prices here, Nev. That 870, that's a few quid.
It is.
Or dollars, I should say.
Yeah.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Nev, we are going over to the other side of the world for this next.
Yes, I don't mind reading this one out because it's sort of slightly, commercial as well in terms of what the aircraft is. It's on alert5.com. And it says that the Royal New Zealand Air Force has formally signed a 6-year lease-to-buy agreement to acquire 2 Airbus A321 XLR aircraft, replacing the service's ageing Boeing 757 strategic transport fleet. Chief of Defence Force Air Marshal Tony Davis recently signed the arrangement with the US-based Air Lease Corporation. The deal, valued at $620 million in capital costs, with an additional $80.86 million in 4-year operating costs, follows the government's August announcement that it approved the acquisition. The new aircraft will be based at the RNZAF base in Auckland and operated by number 40 Squadron, with delivery expected in 2028. The 2 Boeing 757s currently in service were purchased second-hand in 2003 and are now 32 years old. Well, according to the Ministry of Defence, the aircraft have become increasingly prone to breakdowns and require more time for routine maintenance. The A321 XLR offers improved range and efficiency over the outgoing 757s. The new aircraft can accommodate approximately 122 passengers and carry 9,100 kilos of cargo with a range of 8,700 kilometres. The RNZAF uses the strategic transport aircraft primarily to move military personnel and equipment over long distances at short notice. This includes operational deployments, humanitarian and disaster relief missions throughout New Zealand and the Pacific, and government trade and diplomatic delegations. at the Ministry of Defence noted that the Strategic Airlift Fleet complements the NZDF's C-130J tactical transports, which are used in conflict areas and carry heavier equipment over shorter distances. Both aircraft types are considered necessary given New Zealand's geographic location. Air Vice Marshal Darren Webb, Chief of Air Force, says that the A321XLR's extended range will be particularly beneficial for the Antarctic operations. The extra long range capacity of the A321XLR will also improve our ability to conduct key missions to Antarctica with greater safety and surety, Webb says. He added that strategic air transport remains vital for New Zealand's ability to respond to humanitarian crises, support defence deployments and facilitate trade missions. Alongside the contract signing, the RNZAF unveiled the livery design for the incoming aircraft. The new A321XLRs will wear grey paint with the service's Kiwi roundel, matching the current RNZAF colour scheme. Defence officials said the design was chosen to clearly identify the aircraft as military platforms, whilst remaining instantly recognisable as New Zealand aircraft in any environment. As a commercial off-the-shelf acquisition, the A321XLRs will require minimal modification and are expected to be operational soon after delivery in 2028. The aircraft will be fitted with a standard commercial layout. The project received funding in Budget 2025, subject to final business case approval, which occurred in August. The formal contract signing in November completed the procurement process. And I have to say, it looks a very smart machine indeed, doesn't it? Judging by the photos, all the pictures that we've been given.
Mm. Yeah, the XLR
rendering is the word I was looking for.
Rendering, yeah.
Yes,
it is very rendered, isn't it, that picture? But yeah, an obvious choice. I think it's a shame. Obviously, we're seeing the 75s being retired, especially commercially now. Apart from in the US, where there's still, I think, quite a few flying commercially, Nev.
Yeah,
75s. But yeah, obviously, it's all about money, Nev. Saving money on fuel, burning less fuel, and obviously the range as well. But,
yes, and also, you know, if you think about the these two aircraft, they're talking about nearly $81 million in 4-year operating costs for two aircraft. I mean, that's still a lot, isn't it, for two A321s? But the maintenance costs are what they are, aren't they?
Yeah,
probably be less expensive than the 75s, I would imagine.
Well, if they are going to bin off their 75s, then I sincerely hope that they send a few parts out.
What bits would you like of a 75 to add to your collection?
Well, just make sure the door is the door is slightly up. Oh, let me just shut the door there. I would very much like, because I have obviously a 777 window here next to me, a BA 777. I've got the TriStar window just over there from one of the Royal Air Force TriStars, the Dash 500. I would love a window section from a 75. I think that would be my next. There we go. Matt's got the picture on the screen there. Now look at that. That's 757. You've got to admit that just looks. If there was a supermodel category for aircraft. That aircraft there on the screen now, for those of you watching in the world of YouTube, it's stunning. The 75 is just the most perfect-looking, narrow-bodied aircraft, I think, ever to grace the skies. Now, if I've got, as I said to Matt knows this, there is a piece of wall just over there in the studio here at home where a window section from a 757 would fit perfectly on.
And also what you have to remember, my dear friend, is that myself and my best friend were sat at dinner with you and your wife, where her feelings were made very clear on that possible use of space. Was it not? Was it not made very clear what would happen?
Yeah, but I mean, The thing of it is, I did get asked the question, the inevitable question this week, what do you want for Christmas?
Nah, yeah, that ain't going to work.
I mean, she said whatever you want. I mean, that
Did
is...
she? Right, yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right. To be fair, I can say if I see one of those if I see one of those hanging up there after Christmas, I'm fresh out of hats. I'm afraid I don't have any, but yeah, I'll eat a muff. That is essentially what I'll do. I'll eat a muff. If there is exactly what you want hanging up on the wall on Christmas Day, I'll eat a muff.
So should I get a phone call from Gemma asking me, Nev, what's this plane reclaimers thing? I've seen it on Carlos's internet history.
Yeah.
I'll just deny all knowledge of it. I won't know what she's talking about.
I think it's more what was found on the joint credit card. I think might be the bit that's slightly worrying. But
the chat room goes wild. Lovely comments in the chat room. Actually, Richard Adams makes a very good comment in the chat room. Actually, remove one of the house windows and replace it with a 7.5. I mean, that's actually a really good idea.
My God. No.
I mean, I'd have to have a double window set. A double
right.
window
Yeah. I'm going to speak on behalf of your wife. That will be a very firm no, I think.
Yeah. Oh dear, to be a bachelor.
Can you imagine her signing off on that? Either that, or you will be essentially bankrupted by the amount of diamonds you will need to purchase.
Yeah, that is the issue we've got here. Yeah, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, Nev. I am surprised that
you're married to a beautiful woman. Yes, me too. Yeah,
no, Sue is lovely, but I'm surprised, Nev, that you haven't got a sizable piece of something hanging in the home.
No, I've not gone for the real bits, really. I've just gone for pictures of things.
That's because he knows it won't be tolerated. That's what it is.
But no, I have to agree that the 7.5, I mean, especially in that New Zealand Air Force livery, looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? So along with the Landor livery on a BA 757, I mean, it's just unbeatable, isn't it?
Indeed. And I should just clarify, by the way, Carlos, I was referring to you being married to a beautiful woman as the reason why I was surprised not Nev married to the beautiful Sue. I cannot stress that enough.
I can imagine Sue being or Mrs. Nev being quite
thank you, David.
When it comes to pieces of aircraft appearing in the home.
I don't think so.
I've not really tested the water yet, but maybe it's the time to do that. Perhaps when when the next pension increment comes through or something.
Yes. They were talking about triple lock, weren't they? It's all very exciting.
No, we did say we weren't going to mention the UK budget.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, my bad.
Filtered into that area.
Abort. Yeah, sorry.
Actually, if I was going to suggest or say one item that Nev would have in his home, I would have said that you would have the first row seats from a 320, the seat, an actual seat 1A, or have one of the seats converted into an office chair, Nev.
Yes, what I was perhaps thinking of is the 3 seats that you get in business class with the middle seat blocked out with that table, for example. That would be really good, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do a bit of work on that and see. I think these things are always the way. I mean, maybe not in your case, Carlos, but I always find in my household it's far easier to ask for forgiveness rather than permission.
Oh no, that definitely won't work in Carlos's house. It'll be made to leave the building. That is not negotiable. Oh my goodness me.
Anyway, we must move on now before I get in
shot.
Nev, where can our listeners find out more about us and also find our new looking website?
Yes, Facebook, X or Instagram are the platforms to look at, and just search those for Plane Talking UK. You can send us an email at the show, podcast@planetalkinguk.com. Our brand new website's up and running, and there's some, I would say it's very much big work in progress going on there because we're adding stuff to it all the time. But just go to all the W's, planetalkinguk.com, and you will find the website there. And also you'll find information about the 600th show on there as well. WhatsApp number, same as always, +44 7446 975 214. Don't forget you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get notifications when we go live, and you can help shape the conversation of the show by joining us in the chat room, as so many people have done this evening. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe as well. That always helps the YouTube algorithm, despite some of its weirdness sometimes. Just go to youtube.com and search for Plane Talking UK. On the website, we've got a area which says support us. That's a direct link to our Patreon and PayPal links. As you know, the show does cost us money to operate. If you feel you can assist us at all, then please consider having a look at those two to help. Just go to the main website, planetalkinguk.com, and you'll see the support us tab on the top right hand side.
Yes, there we go. That's where you can find out more about us. And as Nev said, I've got a link there. You can find out all the information about the 600th show on there, as well as the hotel where we are staying. I know a few in the chat room have been discussing the hotel. All the details are on there where we are going to be staying at. So it's all exciting. Right, quick round robin before we finish. Matt, what are you up to this weekend?
Lots of bits and pieces with the other hobby, it's, I think it's a busy weekend for both of us actually on that front.
It is very much so. Yeah. I shall be busy Saturday, and also I shall be busy Sunday doing the ironing. Which
yes, very important. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Nev, what exciting things are you up to apart from cleaning the car, obviously?
Well, yes, not that exciting really, but what we're doing this week. The local medical centre would like me to send my blood pressure readings to them tomorrow. And
it's nice that they're taking it's lovely that they're taking such a vested interest in you.
Yes, and then I've got to have a blood test, just the annual sort of thing that they do. And depending on how that goes, I may go for a Tesco breakfast on Friday. If it's a disaster and they say you can't have any more, then I won't.
I think my surgery has forgotten about me, Nev, if I'm honest with you, because I'm still hobbling around like a what's it. But anyway,
oh dear,
never mind, all part of the fun.
No, that's not what you want, is that? But so no, general sort of domestic stuff, nothing too major, I have to say.
Well, that is where we're going to bring the show to a close for this week. Big thanks to everyone in the YouTube chat room tonight. All the family members in there, as always, plus some new faces this week as well, I've noticed in the chat room. So thank you to you for joining us. Also, a big thanks to everyone who downloads the show as an audio podcast as well. Massive, massive thanks to you as well, and for supporting the show as you do, because it all makes a difference when you download the show. And don't forget, if you do, leave us a little comment. Leave us a little comment on the place where you download the show, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, or Podbean, wherever you download the show from. Thanks to Nev for all your work this week with the show, Nev, and also to Matt as well for running the studio so finely today, as he has done, and does every week. So thank you for you as well, Matt. And that's it. That's where we're going to bring the show to a close. Nev, we'd like to say goodbye to everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, thanks everybody for joining us. Really appreciate all your fantastic contributions in the chat room, some of which we couldn't read out this evening because they were very, very funny indeed. But thanks ever so much for doing that. Hope you have a great rest of the week and the weekend. We'll be back on Wednesday next week, 7 o'clock UK time. In the meantime, bye for now.
There we go.
There we go. Another one in the can, as they say. Thanks for all the lovely comments in the chat room, by the way. It always makes me smile when I see the comments in the chat room at the end of the show. It makes it all worthwhile. So, yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Masha. Appreciate that.
Tanya, thank you. And Jason? Entertainment. That's what we are. We are entertainment.
In the loosest possible term, obviously.
Oh, dear. I'm looking forward to getting up tomorrow morning and not having to spend 10 minutes sitting in my car waiting for the...
There's every chance that they might change their mind and it still be foggy or damp.
Well, fog I can deal with. It's the icy roads that I find...
I don't know. You're close to the Met than we are, Matt, in terms of your knowledge of weather forecasting.
Yes.
I've mentioned this before, but the inaccuracy with which the forecasters are coming up with stuff at the moment is just incredible, isn't it? It's not even close sometimes. Most of the time.
Yes, it is a problem. I have to say that they've done really rather well with the last couple of what I call weather warnings. They've hit the brief on that one, and there certainly have been I feel there's been some significant improvements, but I might be slightly biased because that is now Dan's job.
Oh yes,
and he works for the Met doing that. So. Yeah, and he's a senior forecaster there now. And as I say, the goodness knows what. It's a funny one. I don't know whether it's because we're an island and it makes it very, very difficult to predict paths of weather and things, because of course the wide expanses of water around us can very quickly change. What is the projected buzz, and at the end of the day, all weather forecasts are essentially, as Dan said when he came on and talked to us, essentially computer guesstimations of where they think the various. It's like simulations, and that's essentially what they're running.
Yeah.
They're running multiple simulations based on the data they've received about where they think the stuff will go, and sometimes it's just rubbish. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we are stuck in between, the North Atlantic and Scandinavia, and so it very often changes very quickly from sort of a west-southwesterly wind to a northeasterly wind, depending on where the what's name is. What's it called?
Wash?
No. I'm sure someone in the chat room will tell me. I've forgotten the name briefly, but so it can change very quickly.
Not the jet stream, is that what you mean?
Jet stream.
The jet
that's
stream,
the word
yes,
I was
sorry,
looking
yes.
for. Yes.
Yeah. Dan mentions the jet stream a lot whenever he's doing his podcast.
No, he would. Yeah.
But, it's a funny old. It is a challenge, I think, doing it here. I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, obviously Tanya's in the group there. Is it any better in America? Dirk, what about you? Is it sort of, are they any better in sort of Europe? I mean, is it because we're like an island that it's more difficult to predict, or are they all rubbish? I guess essentially is the question I'm asking. There we go. See what the chat room can do for us.
Yes, in the northeast or the eastern seaboard in the US, obviously they get some very
interesting,
lively weather down there. It's quite temperate as well, because one minute it can be really, really cold, and then I've been in New York area previously where it's been extremely warm. So you never quite know what you're going to get, do you?
Yeah, Tanya reckons they're all rubbish. Rubbish in Norway, apparently. Thank you, Belugast. Thanks for getting invited. It's nice to see the newbies all being very brave as well, getting involved in the conversations. We really appreciate that. Welcome to the show, as Carlos said earlier. Dirk saying forecast here in Germany is pretty good if you know what you're looking for. Fair. Yeah, the free weather apps. That's not the first time I've heard that, Masha, and Dirk. That's, it's sometimes it is worth paying if you are that interested in it. It is worth paying for a model. I know you follow the Carlos. You follow a lot of the air the small airport bases for your forecasting, don't you? When you're looking,
yeah, there's a METARS one METARS one that I use for the smaller airfields and in and around East Anglia. And one of the ones that I also subscribe to, which is a really good one, that I know that Armando uses in the US for a lot of his flying when he goes flying to see what the weather is Windy. Windy's a really good app, and it's really accurate. When we had that heavy rain a few weeks ago, Matt, here in the UK, I was tracking the rain, the kind of storm cells of the rain as such, as it was coming across the because it was stuck over us for nearly 2 days. And it's a very accurate app. Windy's very good. Even the free version of Windy is very good as well. But it's quite interesting on Windy because you can actually go on the satellite view and you can see where the cloud is and stuff. It's a good little app. Which is what I'm looking at now, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Just looking at the temperature here, where we are currently here, because we're not far from each other, to be fair.
Right.
And it is registering at 5 degrees Celsius.
Ooh, not too bad then.
Yes. Anyway, right. I better get down and check out the cat situation. See if Dave and Nigel are both in. Hopefully they are. But yes, would you like to say bonjour to everyone, Nev, and our listeners?
Bonjour.
Well, you know what I mean.
I think bonsoir.
Yeah,
might be better.
Or au revoir. Any of the above, really.
And
not allowed. Please don't make me do it again, Carlos. It's just. I'm too tired. I can't do it
thanks
again.
Everyone again for joining us this evening, and we'll see you next Wednesday. And have a lovely rest of the week, people. And Nev, over to you.
Yeah, I hope you have a nice week. Thanks for joining us again, and take care of yourselves, and see you next week. Bye for now.